Lakers fans and basketball lovers alike. Today is a very special day as I have the privilege and the honor of getting to speak with the reigning Coach of the Year, Mr. Nick Nurse. Hello, Coach Nurse. How are you doing?
Good morning. Welcome. Good to be back connected in the Valley with the Rio Grande Valley Vipers. Nice to speak with you today. Look forward
Thank
to it.
you so much. I know it's super exciting, but I have to ask you, how are you enjoying this off season with your family?
Yeah, it's been good. I think long stretch in the pre-bubble that we created in Naples, Florida, and then we went on to Orlando to the NBA bubble. It was almost 3 full months.
Right.
So it was nice to get home and see the kids and my wife. We actually met down in the valley. She was coaching volleyball at the University of Texas Brownsville, as it was known then, and I was coaching the Rio Grande Valley Vipers. So it's always a special place for me and my family, the valley. But no, it's great to see them, and we're enjoying the cool fall weather of Toronto, Canada, right now.
That's nice. I mean, I wish we could say the same, but the humidity over here is just terrible. So I'm jealous.
It was the same it was hot in Orlando too. Yeah, it was hot there every time we did step outside. It was pretty warm and humid. You're right.
Really believe that. But of course, I would like to ask you about your time in the bubble. And it was recently you had an interview with ESPN's Zach Lowe. That after reflecting on your time there, you didn't feel like it was as enjoyable as you actually thought it was. Why was
Well, I think that the losing probably has not still being playing in the finals or whatever probably has a lot to do with that. But I mean, listen, it was good. The NBA did a great job. Our team did a great job. I think everybody was doing their best to it was really positive attitude time. Everybody was trying really hard to use positive words and actions and have positive energy. But it was a bubble, and once you got out and kind of look back, it's just nice to be back, walk around your neighborhood, be back in the flow of things with your family, and see some of your friends once in a while, all that kind of stuff. So that's it. No big deal. It was manageable, and it was fine. We had a good time down there. Wish we would have played just a little bit better, but we didn't.
but would you say that it was an advantage or a disadvantage of being in one central location and having only 1 day of rest in between games?
Neither. I think it was the same for everybody, right? I think that there was several advantages. From a coaching perspective, it was awesome. I mean, we had courts right there at the hotel. I mean, literally walk out my room, go down the elevator, and I'd be on a basketball floor in 5 minutes, and so would the rest of the team. So we had access to a lot of things. We could do a lot of development and shooting and skill work with our younger players. So there was a lot of advantages. It was just kind of, it was a little bit like Groundhog's Day, if you've ever seen that movie. It was kind of the same day over and over again, but everybody's going through that, a little bit in the pandemic that we're in. So we were thankful to be able to play, that's for sure, and thankful that they gave us the opportunity to do so.
And was there anything in particular that you, actually say, you know what, I really like this whole thing that they did with the bubble that you would like implemented, or is there something small that you would like implemented moving forward?
Well, I think that I've already mentioned it. I think it was interesting that they were able to kind of just put these makeshift courts right in the hotel, in the convention center part of it, or whatever, and drop a nice wood floor down and some nice baskets, and guys could go get practice without, having to travel. So, sometimes when we go to some of the big cities on the road, we're trying to get to practice. Yeah, we end up going to places, but you spend, an hour in traffic getting there, and an hour back, and then a couple hours. It ends up being a pretty tiresome project. And that was one thing that was really nice, just be able to go down and literally have a good hour, 90-minute practice, and be right back, off your feet and recouping.
And you mentioned obviously you would have liked to go further in the bubble, but there were some very exciting moments. So I'd like for us to talk about a little bit about Game 6 against the Boston Celtics. That was a huge game. You had Kyle Lowry rallying up the Raptors into a double overtime to force a game 7. Talk a little bit about the energy during that game and what is it about Kyle that makes him such an efficient player?
Well, first of all, he's really, really good, right? And the biggest, thing that I always say about him, I think the highest compliment I can give him is I've never seen anyone anywhere play as hard as he does. The amount of effort he puts in, combined with his IQ, combined with his skill, combined with his toughness, makes him the incredible player he is. But as far as the game, he was outstanding. He had to, we kind of he put us on his shoulders and carried us through a lot of that game. Great basketball game. A lot of people are calling it an instant classic. Obviously, the double overtime, we had a couple chances to win and had the ball and just kept going and finally got the game under control in the second overtime. But it was a great one, and our guys showed, I think, tremendous courage and heart to keep fighting. It was a must win, game 6 knockout if we don't win, and we were able to push it to game 7.
Was huge. And right now, Coach, there's a lot of kind of news circulating around Fred Van Vliet. He's currently heading into the biggest offseason of his career. So, how big of it is it a priority for not only you, but for the Raptors organization to lock him on a long term deal?
Well, he's a great player. He's very similar to Kyle. They're almost the same size. They've got the kind of similar IQ. Kyle's been around a lot longer, so he's a little more experienced, a little bit higher IQ. But Fred's really smart. He's a winner. He was part of a team that went 35-0 in college at Wichita State and went to the Final Four. Um, I don't know. It's tough. It's free agency, right? I mean, we love him. He's an integral part of our core, but it's a business, and there'll be probably be some teams out there, making some big offers, and let's just hope he's back in a Raptors uniform. I sure hope he is because I love coaching him.
Fingers crossed, Coach. And part of the reason why I wanted to interview you, Coach, is again because of the huge influence that you have not only on me, but on the Valley as a whole. And it was back in 2013 that you were with the Vipers that you had the opportunity to win your second D League championship. And for many players, staff, and coaches, part of the reason they start off in the G League, back then D League, is to be able to move on to the NBA. So, what was it about the then D League that helped you get to where you are now in your career?
Well, it's just one. I always say it's can be one small step away from the NBA. First of all, it could be one big step away too, right? It is a pretty big leap going from the G League to the NBA, but the experience I got as a head coach, um, certainly it was it being up in front of the team, calling the timeouts, making the substitutions, trying to develop chemistry and implementing defenses, trying experiments down there, things I experimented with down there that everybody said I was a little I was a little too far outside the box. Well, I worked on some of that stuff, and some of it was good, and I brought it to the NBA. So it was a good laboratory, so to speak, especially down in Rio Grande Valley. That's kind of what the Rockets wanted me to do, was use the basketball floor and the practice venue as a basketball laboratory. So we were able to do that. But it just gives you tremendous confidence to work at your craft, and it's again a small step away from the NBA. You get enough contact with the league, you get enough connection. I think the NBA's put their arms around the G League now very much, and I don't know. I highly recommend it. I always say everybody that goes through the D League or the G League is a much better person because of it. So I certainly recommend it for everybody.
I definitely agree with you, Coach. And as mentioned earlier in the interview, you were recently named the 2019-2020 NBA Coach of the Year. So, what is it about your coaching style that makes your connections so impactful to players that you're able to garner the results that you desire?
Well, first of all, we had a lot of really good players. You don't win Coach of the Year or get a Coach the All Star game or any of that stuff unless you got a lot of things in place. And not very similar to Rio Grande Valley, the Raptors. We got from ownership, Larry Tannenbaum, to our president Masai Ujiri, to our GM Bob. I mean, we've got a lot of things high level in place, and it's a tremendous organization. And I'm just out there trying to make a group of guys believe in themselves, play together, share the basketball, maybe even have bigger dreams than they themselves have as a team. Become more than we maybe even think we can become, and set our goals high and just work every day to get them. That's it. It's nothing real magical. It's just trying to communicate and work really hard and dream big dreams.
Yes, sir. And it is something that clearly sets you apart, which is why you are where you are now. So I applaud you on that. And one thing is for sure, coaches, you've established a winning reputation, one that has followed you from the D League to the NBA, winning a championship for Toronto, the first for that franchise. But although winning is a desired outcome, what has failure taught you?
Well, I think when you lose, the important thing I always like to say is don't lose the lesson, right? Because it seems like there's lots of lessons, and it seems like your attention is certainly, and your awareness is heightened after a loss to learn those lessons. So I think that's the first thing is always after a loss you say, let's not lose the lessons we can learn here. Um, and I don't know, you just competitive nature wants you to maybe compete a little bit harder the next time out. Um, and again, it's a process of learning. We really try. I'd love to tell you we could treat winning and losing a game the same. We try to. We talk about it. It's just difficult. Human nature makes it really hard to do that. But like I said, once you have a loss, you try not to lose the lesson. Learn as much as you can. Pull your socks up and get ready to go after the next one and go after it hard.
Yes, sir. And coach, you actually have some really exciting news because aside from being extremely successful out on the court, you also have a new book coming out this month. It's called Rapture: 15 Teams, 4 Countries, One NBA Championship, and How to Find a Way to Win Damn Near Anywhere. First of all, awesome title. How did that come about to be, and what can readers expect?
Yeah, it comes out October 13th. I would say it's funny. It's kind of turned into a little bigger project than it originally done. We decided to do it. A writer from my hometown back in Iowa decided to do it right when I got the job, kind of as a story of making it to being a NBA head coach. But obviously, the last couple of years have added a few more chapters to the book. But it's kind of like a personal memoir. Starts from the beginning of growing up in a small town in Iowa, to traveling overseas and playing and coaching, and just lessons learned. And really, without giving too much of a spoiler, the biggest lesson is when you're chasing your dreams, you may not get a shot. I may never have gotten the shot to coach in the NBA, but if I ever did, I sure wanted to be ready for it. And I think working at my craft each and every year, loving every job that I had along the way, I certainly did. I fondly look back at my 2 years in the Valley as, man, I loved it there. I loved being there. I loved the vibe. I loved the organization, loved the players. And I was just working at trying to get better. And that's really what the book's about.
And it's paid off. And I can't wait to pick up a copy because I love to read. And last question, coach, because I feel like this is one question that you ask a person that is destined to be great. And you, coach, are clearly on your way to that. So, what do you want your legacy to be?
Um, I don't know. I have a hard time like with that word or thinking about it. I just think that what I've always done as a coach was obviously compete to win, because that's kind of how we're judged, right? They keep score every game, and that's really especially at professional level. But the second thing, I was always trying to move players along, and I say increase their value in the marketplace, because they're doing this for a living. Whether it's going to be playing for 10 years and then what they're going to do afterwards, making them super impactful in their local communities, trying to talk about giving back to their local communities, and just making them as successful as they can be, because I think that's what it's all about. I'm a teacher at heart. I'm a giver. I'm a sharer, and I just kind of like to spread good vibes and energy, and help people become better and reach their potential.
Well, thank you so much, Coach, for taking the time to do this interview with me. You have no idea
Welcome.
how much it means. Thank you to all of those who watched today's YouTube video. Make sure that you subscribed. For now, I'm your host, April Marie, and this is Vipers 360.